right now is a former two-time Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, a former IWGP World Tag Team Champion, as well as a former 11-time ROH World Tag Team Champion, as well as a current Tag Team Champion. He is, of course, the legendary Jay Briscoe. Jay, welcome to the two-man power trip of wrestling.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. And Mark is actually in the house as well.
Oh, I didn't know he'd be here. Awesome. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, what's going on, my man?
All right, awesome stuff. And obviously, talking to you guys today because ROH is a huge show coming up, Honor for All, on 8/25 in Nashville, Tennessee, the Tennessee State Fairgrounds. What do you think about this show, defending the tag titles against the legendary Rock and Roll Express?
Hey, man, it's going to be awesome. I mean, we already wrestled them once this year at the Crockett Cup, and I thought it was a hell of a match. You know, them boys put up more of a fight than we expected. So I'm sure this time with the titles online, it's going to be even better. And, you know, we're just going to do what we do, and it's going to be showtime Sunday night.
What did you think about when you wrestled them the first time? Because they could still go.
They can still go, yes, sir. We started the match off. You know, we talked a little trash to them. Next thing I know, they kicked me in the nuts. They double drop kicked Mark, and here they came. So it's going to be, you know, I mean, we're going to have to be ready for that. And, yeah, they the Rock and Roll Express, man.
Let me put it like this. They about got us last time because I didn't think they could still go. I saw them boys out there cricking around before the show, and I ain't think they still had it in them. But once that music hit, once them people started getting live, and once that adrenaline started pumping, them boys was firing on all cylinders. And good Lord, yeah, hey, we're going to be ready this time.
Now, you're not going to be taking it easy on them or anything like that, are you?
Oh, hell no. We don't even know how to do that.
I've been watching you guys for a long time, since basically 2002 when you guys started in Ring of Honor is kind of when I started following you. But what is it like now? Because that was, you know, the Murphy Rec Center, that was Philadelphia. Now you guys have expanded all over the place, and now you're, you know, almost closing down arenas. You know, you're closing down the fairgrounds here in Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we just keep it rolling, man. It's 2019, you know, and obviously, you know, we had a lot of guys that left, and you know, more power to them, man. It's all good, but we still here doing our thing, and we're going to keep doing what we do.
Time marches on, brother. Time marches on.
Now, what is it about you guys that you guys have been so loyal to Ring of Honor for the last 17 years? You know, you've been the mainstays. Like you said, guys come and go, but you guys are basically, you know, the rocks of Ring of Honor.
Well, I mean, I just don't see, you know, going elsewhere. If we went elsewhere, I don't know if we'd still have the same opportunities that we do in Ring of Honor. You know, over the years, wrestled the best tag teams. You know, they've come and gone. You know, they're still here. Whoever it may be, man, we always get, it seems like we get the best matches in Ring of Honor, man. And so we're here, and you know, they know what we want. We want big matches. We want big-time competition, and that's what we get.
So what do you think about the state of Ring of Honor right now in 2019? Obviously, you know, the Bullet Club left and the Bucks are gone, and you guys had kind of revamped the roster. Obviously, the Briscoes are still there, which is awesome. But what do you think about the roster right now and the state of Ring of Honor?
Well, the roster, I think, is, I mean, I honestly feel top to bottom, the roster is stronger than ever. The thing is just, you know, adapting to just the changes, man. And it's, because we are a television show. We work for a television company, you know, Sinclair Broadcasting, and they do a TV show every week that we have to do. But it's, you know, it's starting to evolve, man. Like, I mean, back in the day, we would run, you know, these big, long TV tapings, and they take 4 hours long to do. And you know, we're starting to get out of that. We're starting to evolve, you know, the whole entire product, man. And now it feels like we're getting more back to, you know, how you say it, just the grassroots of things, and just kind of taking it back to having the atmosphere. The atmosphere of the show is what we're focusing on right now. You know, especially us. When we come out there, we're going to create an atmosphere, an environment like nobody else can, you know, at least try to anyway. And so that's what we're going for at the moment.
When a lot of the guys left, at first it was almost like we didn't know what we had going forward. And then a couple shows in, we realized what was going down. We kind of all got in a group huddle, and we said, what do we got to do? What does this company got to do at this point? We done lost a lot of guys that a lot of people were buying tickets to come see. But basically, we've revamped the TV product just like Jay was talking. We were airing, I remember back in, we lost the belts to the PCO and Brody King back in March, and 2 weeks later on TV, we still had the belts. So everybody involved realized that was a problem. The two different timelines of Ring of Honor is now becoming just one solid timeline with this new TV format. And we might have to make some tweaks and whatnot, but for the state of Ring of Honor right now, I think anybody and everybody who is a naysayer, who is sleeping on the product right now, I think that they're going to be they're going to have some egg on their face when it's all said and done, because the group of guys we got right now can go above and beyond any other group of guys in professional wrestling.
Hey, the action speaks for itself, man.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The action speaks for itself, and it just, just presenting the action in the right way is what we're going for. You know what I mean? And that's what we're doing. It's what we're trying to do, and we're getting there. It's obviously, you got to work the tweaks out, but we're getting it figured out.
Now, you guys are somewhat of locker room leaders. You've been there for 17 years. What is the state of the locker room behind the scenes? Everybody confident? Everybody kind of very, positive going forward?
Well, I mean, we feel like we have something to prove. Like everybody is to the point where, it's 2019 and everybody likes to complain about something. Everybody likes to hate on something, and people think it's cool. Right? You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
right
absolutely.
Now, we're just we're kind of the, the scapegoat, so to speak.
I think one way to put it is we're a victim. I don't know how many of y'all read that book, 1984, but we're a victim of groupthink. You know what I mean? Everybody says I'm sorry, not everybody, but if anybody says Ring of Honor's product is subpar, then 20 other people are going to chime in because they saw that person got 20 likes because they said that, and they got 20 retweets because they said that, and they ain't even seen the product.
And yeah, that's the thing, man. Like watch the product. Like seriously, like right now, man. Like these shows this weekend, Saturday in Atlanta, Sunday in Nashville. I guarantee you they're gonna be fire. We're gonna go out there, the whole locker room. We're gonna bust our ass, and it's gonna be fire, man. And the people, if they won't even watch it, and they're gonna hate on it. But, tune in and be honest about it. Don't worry about what other people say. Actually watch the shit and tell me you're not entertained, and I'm going to tell you a damn lie.
Are you guys the locker room leaders? I know I kind of said it and we're alluding it. Are you guys the locker room leaders of Ring of Honor?
I mean, we've been here forever, you know what I mean? And
seen them come, seen them go, you know what I mean? But,
I mean, we're always been a group, we've always had our group of leaders. And, but I mean, you call us with whatever you want, man. But, I mean, yeah, I guess kind of in a way, maybe so. But,
why not? You know what I mean? Why not? We've been there. We've been here longer than anybody. We've seen everybody come, everybody go. And the group we got right now is so incredibly strong. I mean, there's other guys, of course, it goes without saying, Jay Lethal, you know what I mean? Kenny King's been here for a minute. There are other guys, but yeah, sure, we up there.
I mean, yeah, we're going to take, we're going to do what we have to do, man, to keep this shit rolling.
What are your guys' thoughts on AEW coming around and that kind of being the hot topic right now? That's, on a lot of people's minds, and everyone's saying, oh, AEW this and AEW that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's awesome, man. I think AEW is great for especially the wrestlers, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously we got, you got more options when it comes to wrestling. You got, everybody, and the thing is they're making everybody step their game up. And I think that's the main thing, man. It seems like all promotions everywhere is stepping their game up. And I mean, it's gonna come a point where, the cream gonna rise, man. We're gonna see how everything works out once the TV starts and all that stuff. But I mean, at some point you got to get between the ropes and you're gonna ring the bell and the match gonna start and you got to get down. You know what I'm saying? This is pro wrestling, and at the end of the day, you're going to have a match. So, I mean, you know, what they're doing is awesome. But at the end of the day, you have to get in the ring, and the bell got the ring, and the match got start, baby. So we're going to see.
Definitely something to keep your eye on. Definitely something to kind of look forward to. I feel like you're right. If one promotion is, you know, building itself up, it kind of rises all the ships, right? I mean, maybe everyone can step up their game and rise to a certain level.
You know, and that's the thing, man. Like, I feel like people, like 2019, man, I mean, I feel like this has been a year for us where we've had, you know, some big-time matches, man, been doing some big-time shit, and it's different now because now I feel like we have, you know, they're giving us the ball to run with, so to speak. You know, now, you know, kind of being the top guys once again. And, you know, and we're doing things, I mean, it's different, man. Like, we're a TV company, but we tell the people, or we talk to the people who produce the TV, and they tell us, you know, well, if you guys are going to bleed out there, we can't put that on television. But then we have to, you know, we think about it, and, you know, we have Honor Club now, so would it make more sense to, you know, sacrifice the match not being able to be on TV, but still it's on Honor Club? You know, like we, you know, it's a tough spot we're in, but it's not really that tough. Like, I feel like we can do what we want to do more, and we're doing what we do. We're showing, you know, a different.
Now that we got this, now that we're starting to, now that we're starting to close up these two timelines of Ring of Honor, where we had the TV timeline and we had the live event / Honor Club timeline. Now that that's becoming one thing with a new TV format, which I can't stress how huge this is. But like, now that that's the case, like, people are going to be able to see this product for what it actually is. Like, I told some of the guys up top, and I know you asked about the 2019, the state of wrestling, but just for Ring of Honor in general, like, we making this turn right here and right now, because I told the people all the way up top that this, like, the TV product up until recently, they weren't showing the best of what we had. They weren't showing what Ring of Honor truly was all about, because there was times when people were watching on TV a tired crowd that had been there for 4 hours, and it just didn't translate. Well, it translated exactly what it was, a tired crowd that had been watching wrestling for 4 or 5 hours. But now, you know what I mean, that was a significant problem, and the wrestlers talked to the Sinclair broadcasting higher ups and made them realize, we told them, like, this cannot fly. And now, so here we go.
It's all about the atmosphere, man. Creating the atmosphere. It's the atmosphere of the show, man. Like, you got to be there. You know what I mean? You got to be there. I mean, nobody wants to sit through a damn 4-hour-long show with a whole bunch of breaks in between, man. Let's keep that shit flowing. Let's get the wrestlers in the ring, show them what we can do, get in, get out, and keep the show flowing, and let's have a damn hell of a show.
And you guys always put on great shows, always have great matches, and right now, basically embittered in this big feud with the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga, Tongaloa. What's it been like working with those guys? I mean, you guys have had some bloody wars going on.
Oh, man, it's awesome. I love it. Like, they are the style, you know what I mean? Like, we've wrestled so many different tag teams.
Perfect compliment.
But they, you know what I mean? It's perfect. Briscoes versus the Tongas, man. I mean, we just go to war. We just fight each other. You know, we really go out there and fight each other. You know what I mean?
When they first started teaming a couple of years ago in New Japan, which was when they had won their first IWGP tag titles, and that's also when we won our first IWGP tag titles, beating them. It was a thing in Japan at the time. They were a fresh team. We were fresh faces over there. But I remember at the time saying to myself, I told Jay and I told my dad, I said, if we ever get to do this thing on U.S. soil, then it's gonna be huge. And shoot, here we are, man. And it's some of my favorite, one of my favorite programs that we've had in 20 years now of wrestling. You know.
Seems like you guys are a great match for each other because both hard hitting, you know, stiff, snug, strong style. I just, you know, love the feud because you guys are so intense.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the style, man, and that's that's what's kind of different about what's going on now. Like, now I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong, we can get down however you want to get down. We can wrestle with anybody, and we kind of pride ourselves on that, and thank God for the ability to be able to get down with anybody. But if we got to choose the type of match that we wanted to have, it's going to be a brawl. You know what I mean? It's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. Ain't going to be nothing fancy about it, and that's what we've been able to do with these guys.
And you mentioned beating the Guerrillas of Destiny for the IWGP tag titles in Japan and bringing it over to the States. Are you guys still associated with New Japan? You're still working with New Japan? Are we going to see the Briscoes back in Japan?
Hey, they got a number, man.
Yeah, they got our number. We'll see what happens. It's it is what it is, man. I feel like, we've worked with New Japan for so long, and but at some point, man, the matches have to mean something. You know what I mean? And the shit has to mean something, or people don't care. And with New Japan coming over to America, you can't blame them for wanting to do their own thing. But we still got a little bit going on, and like, if the matches don't mean nothing, then there ain't no point to do it. So what we're doing with the Guerrillas, what we did with the Guerrillas, I feel like that is, that's what we're looking for, man. Like, nobody wants to see a match that really don't mean shit. You know what I mean? Let's get a story behind this shit. Let's get people invested, and let's give the people what they want to see. Two people talking shit, and then they settle it in the ring.
I totally agree. You got to have some stakes. You know what I mean? You got to be totally invested in the guy.
It got to mean something, man. Like,
if
it don't mean nothing, like, who cares?
Yeah, it's got to be important. It's got to mean something. And when you're fighting the Guerrillas of Destiny, it's like you guys really, really hate each other, and it's just going to be these four guys, these two brother teams, just going at it.
That's really all it has to be.
That's all we really want to do.
Like, why overcomplicate the shit? Let's just, we don't like y'all don't like us. Let's fight about it.
Is there any kind of underestimated teams right now? I mean, Guerrilla Destiny, obviously not underestimated. They're great, but there's any underestimated teams in Ring of Honor that are out there that are going to come up and you're going to say, man, these guys are better than people are giving them credit for?
Man, I tell you who, and they're not underestimated wrestlers whatsoever, but as a team, I've seen Jay Lethal and John Gresham team up here a couple times over the last, 6 months or so, and these guys got some chemistry that I wasn't expecting.
And and also I would say PCO and Brody Lee, man, Villain Enterprises. Brody King, I'm sorry. We've wrestled those guys 3 times now. We've never beat them yet. So that's always like, we just. We got to wrestle them again. We got to beat these dudes. It's always, these dudes is good. These dudes just showed up. They came in here, and they took our titles. First match. Next 2 matches was ended in no contest, man. But, they're definitely a team that we like to get down with.
Man, 11-time tag champs and haven't gotten the win over the Villain Enterprises. That's something to think about, huh?
Yeah, it is something to think about.
You know what's awesome about you guys? It's been around forever. We mentioned 2002, and I go as far back as, obviously, the era of Honor begins when Jay fought Red, but I'm thinking Honor invades Boston when Mark, you beat Jay in that match, and that was kind of my first real exposure to you guys wrestling. I was like, man, these guys are unbelievable at such a young age.
Well, thank you.
Well, you figure we were, 17 and 18 at the time, but we've been wrestling each other in the backyard since we were
7 and 8.
Yeah, for 10 years, man. So we've been. We did the CZW Best of the Best back in 01.
Oh yeah.
First time we ever wrestled each other, and of course, we wrestle each other. We've been wrestling each other our whole lives. So
shoot, man, we got some backyard footage, some old VHS tapes that we need to figure out how to download them into digital, because we got some good footage from back on the trampoline, back in the backyard at Mom and Dad's house. Shoot, man.
That is awesome. And I remember when you guys busted in the scene, like you said, Best of the Best in CZW. You guys had the best match on that show too. It's just like, man, like, these guys are so young and so good at such an early age. I mean, kind of unheard of. Usually guys go through some growing pains, and when they're young, you kind of look back like, man, these guys were rough to start, but not you guys.
I don't know, man. When I go back and look at that shit, I think I suck. But
I know that.
But I mean, you know, shit, 20 years later, I feel like I kind of halfway know what I'm doing now. So.
Yeah, just awesome. And just to think, then that first anniversary show where you kind of get that win back over Mark, that's an awesome match. And then you guys form the team. Then you guys become the Briscoe Brothers. Was that kind of an interesting way to start? Because usually you figure you guys would start first and then feud. But ROH and Gabe, I guess at the time, they kind of started it differently. You feuded first and then you formed the team.
Yeah, I mean, cool. Yeah, you know, it was different, but it was cool. And I can't even really remember back then. That was a long time ago, brother. But yeah, it was, you know, it was a cool way to do it. I mean, but yeah, I mean, shit, that was a long time ago, bro.
Yeah, 17 years ago. I mean, whew. And you guys have been through the wars and wrestled so many guys kind of along the way. And I even remember, Jay, one of my favorite matches that you had versus Samoa Joe at Our Best, cage match. You were bleeding pretty damn bad in that match. I was there live. Just awesome match. Great memory for me.
Brother, that was something, man. Like, I didn't know at the time. Like, man, I remember just bleeding and, like, my blood was clotting up. And apparently it's called coagulating, whatever the hell that means. And I still don't hardly know what it means. But at the time, dude, I thought my damn brains was coming out my head, man.
That was pretty gross, and if I remember correctly, you're right, coagulation or whatever, coagulating in the blood, and it came out looking gross. Were you okay? Were you, do you have your wits about you during that?
Well, I mean, I kind of started losing it a little bit, you know what I mean? Just instinct kind of took over.
Best story of the night, though, was, because that was at the Rexplex, New Jersey.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and I remember that. Somebody sitting on the top row of the bleachers there, they fainted. Like, they got so, you know what I mean? That blood.
Got so wigged out.
Yeah, so wigged out that they fainted, fell off the bleachers, busted their head, and the paramedics had to come get them.
That is true. That was kind of a surreal thing. They, got so scared or grossed out or whatever from Jay that, they kind of ended up being, equally as banged up.
Yeah. That was fun. It was a rough night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just some good stuff. But, with you guys, if you go back and you think about even that first title win, I don't know how well you remember, but you beat Special K. You guys win the ROH tag titles. At that point, was that something real special? Because ROH was so hot at that point, and you guys were kind of just coming into your own. Was it kind of special to be tag champs, or is that one of those things for the fans? It means more to us than it means to you guys.
Man, I mean, yeah.
Let me be honest with you. It was cool. It was absolutely cool. But I was still mad that we didn't pick up the win against Red and AJ. Because if you remember correctly, we had that series of matches with Red and AJ Styles.
Yes.
And they were champs all the way through, and we couldn't never get them. That's when I wanted to get them belts. But, yeah, it was nice once we picked them up with old Jim Cornette.
Having Jim Cornette with us, man, it was special.
You're right. They never let you beat AJ and Red, who were teaming for a while and were tag champs for a little while. And, they end up losing, and then you guys end up beating Special K. It's weird that they didn't kind of match you guys back up again and, you guys get your win back, so to speak.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So what are your thoughts on, you mentioned obviously Cornette was your manager at this point. What's your thoughts on old Jimmy Cornette? He seems to be lighting up Twitter and lighting up social media with all the haters.
Well, man, I don't, we're not real big on social media, man, but I just know I love Jim Cornette, and I think he's a very passionate man. He loves this business. He's very passionate about this business, and, I'm not sure exactly everything that's going on with him, but, Jim, my boy, man.
Let me tell you this. Jim is not only extremely passionate about this business, but Jim is one of the smartest dudes that you've ever, the smartest dude you've ever met. He's getting reactions from people that he's doing it, and they probably think that he's upset. You ain't going to get Jim Cornette out of his element. Like, Jim's just chilling, and he's getting pops and getting heat and getting reactions. I mean, Jim's awesome. Nothing bad to say about Jim. He's a man.
Absolutely love him. Just talked to him the other day. He's a great guy. He's just he definitely gets upset.
He's a wild man.
Yeah, absolutely. And
there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not. And thinking about you guys, obviously great tag team, but so different in style. You know, you got the redneck Mark, you got the redneck Kung Fu. Jay, you're much more, strong style base, a little bit more of a brawler. Mark can do some high flying. What is it about you guys? Like, you each kind of like that to adapt almost a different style and then mesh it together?
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, we each know each other. It's almost like we know each other more than we know ourselves, you know what I mean? And if Mark's doing something that I don't agree with, I'm like, man, you know what? I think that shit looks stupid. And he'll tell me the same thing. And so we kind of bounce off each other like that. You know, you got to be, you kind of got to be brutally honest with each other. You know, I feel like that's when the best of ourselves come out, when we can really sit there and be like, Mark, man, that shit was stupid. Or Jay, I don't know why the hell you thought that'd be a good idea. You know, whatever it may be. But we don't hold nothing back. Shit. There's no reason to hold nothing back. Like, why would we? So we don't.
And Mark, what are your thoughts on the chemistry with your brother there?
Oh yeah, I think it's so natural and it's so effortless because just like we've been saying, we been wrestling. Well, first we was fighting each other before we even knew what wrestling was when we was toddlers. But then he's not quite a year older than me, 1 week shy of a year. So we're what they call Irish twins. But yeah, so once we start our pro wrestling careers on the trampoline in the backyard at the age of 7 and 8, you know what I mean? Like, we already know, and like we start to learn and we start to realize, okay, this is like we're watching the same wrestling, but we're obviously taking something different from the same wrestling. He's sitting there being a tough guy, and I'm sitting there being a crazy guy. You know what I mean? He's being Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I'm being Sabu. And then it just continues to evolve, and then we start our professional careers, and it's just like it's so natural. Like we don't even have to talk about it half the time. But like Jay said, when we do talk about it, we're brutally honest. We get fussing and fighting and hollering and cussing at each other sometimes, but it always, once he tells me something that I don't want to hear, and I'll cuss him out. And then once we get separated and he goes back to his house, I go back to my house, I get thinking about what he said, and I'm like, damn, you know what? You got a point there. And I'm sure it's the same way the other way around. So it's effortless, man. Like, well, I don't want to say effortless, but it's all but effortless. It is what it is.
Now, do you guys, obviously, your team more than your singles, but Jay, former 2-time world champion, do you guys really prefer rather to be a tag team, or is it something on your mind as far as maybe getting back into the singles and maybe Mark maybe actually getting that Ring of Honor world title?
Damn right. See, my thing is every time that they put us in tag, for a long time, I'm like, yeah, damn right. But then when we have singles matches, scattered here and there, I'm like, man, I love singles matches. But then if they have us doing singles matches for an extended period of time, I'm like, okay, this is cool. But then we have a tag match. Like, daggone, I love tag matches. So, it's tit for tat. But, we're a natural. Hey, man, as far as I'm concerned, man, I'm going to do whatever needs done. You know what I mean? We needed somebody to beat Kevin Steen for the world title however many years ago it was. They're like, Jay, we think you the man. I was like, well, let's go, baby. So, but obviously tag team is what we do. But, shit, if I got to get down in singles, let's get down.
Yeah, you beat Steen for the world title. It was a pretty big moment. He was basically undefeated for a year, and you end up beating him. And that was a pretty big moment. That kind of it brought ROH a little bit out of the doldrums. When no offense to Steen, when he was champ, it was a little bit on the downturn, but you kind of brought it back up. Kind of created some controversy, beating him after his undefeated streak.
Yeah, well, the people thought I was the man for the job, so I said, yeah, well, they asked me if I thought I was the man for the job, and I said, why not, man? Shit, why not? Let's do this shit.
Now, what happened with that? I mean, basically only champ for a short period of time. Obviously, you beat Adam Cole, you beat Hardy, but then they kind of have an injury angle. But was the contract up? Were you really injured? Because you end up getting stripped of the title at one point.
Yeah, it was it was a whole little thing, man. We were talking with some other companies, you know what I mean, and we were kind of up in the air at the moment, and we thought we might be moving on elsewhere, and then decided that might not be the best thing to do. So it was, it was what it was, man. But I mean, I don't know, I kind of put out a dumb tweet, and that kind of, that kind of affected things a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think it all worked out just the way it's supposed to. And
kind of Ring of Honor is your home, right? I mean, you kind of, you're thinking about testing the waters, maybe leaving, but Ring of Honor ultimately is your home.
I mean, like this place, you know what I mean? We've been here for so long, and we know so many people in this company, man. Like, not only the wrestlers, like the production people, man, like everybody, man. Like, it's a family. And I don't know, man. I just kind of feel some kind of way, just up and leaving, you know what I mean? Like, no offense to nobody that has done that. I mean, more power to them, whatever they want to do. But for me personally, man, I just feel like, these my people, this my place, and I'm going to sit right here as long as I can sit here.
And I love you come back a few months later with that Real World belt, and it was like a kind of a cool kind of camo to it. And is that something you've made on your own, or is that something that's all kind of your creation?
They Ring of Honor had that already made for me, and right after we signed the contract, it was kind of up in the air if we were going to sign or not, and we signed the contract, and then they're like, you know what, let's show them. We signed the contract, and they showed us, Jay, this is what we're doing with you. We're going to run with this right now. You just signed the contract. We want you to do this right now, so go ahead, run with it, and that's what we did. And that's when I was like, this is some bullshit. Where's my cool signing bonus? There's a signing bonus, man.
Mark, what's up with that, Mark? How come, he's getting the preferential treatment here?
I don't know, man. Hey, it's all good. Somebody got carried the load. Somebody got be pretty, and then somebody got carried the load. So it's all good. I'm happy to be the guy to carry the load. You know what I mean? Back in the day, back in the Bible, man, who used to actually carry the stuff from one point to another? They go on journeys for days and weeks, and who would actually carry the stuff? The donkey. Hey, that's me, baby. The workhorse, the donkey. And then we got this beautiful jackass right here that's getting these custom-made belts and shit.
That is great. You guys, still on the farm, right? You guys still do the chicken farming and still do that stuff?
That's the beautiful part about Ring of Honor, man. Like the schedule, we got a good schedule, but we still are able to be home and do what we got to do here. I mean, not what we got to do, what we choose to do, Shit, there's more than one way to skin a cat when it comes to getting money, and that's what we do.
It is awesome to kind of think like, obviously you're wrestlers kind of first and foremost, but you do stuff on your own. I mean, chicken farming, you probably make a good living doing that, and Ring of Honor has that flexibility where you can kind of do that, and you don't have to worry about, I got to be on the road 24/7, or I got to travel 300 days a year.
Well, that's the thing, man. And plus, the style that we wrestle at, I feel like the way we get down, man, my body, I know I speak for Mark when I'm talking, like, our bodies, you know what I mean? Like, when we go out there, we're going to wrestle like it's our last match. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to put it all out there. You're going to get everything that we got, and we're going to be hurting for a few days afterwards, man, because we're going to leave it all out there like that, and people can say, oh, that's a stupid way to wrestle. Man, hell with them people. We're going to do what we do. We leave it out in the ring, and that's just what we do, man.
Think about you guys, really. Ring of Honor in the mid-2000s, it was at its hottest. It was basically really, the smart fans or the real diehard fans. That was the number one promotion. Everyone loved Ring of Honor, and you guys are right in the middle of it. Now we're in 2019. You said you're revamping, you're changing things up, and the Briscoes are right in the middle of it all over again. Pretty cool, and it's kind of almost full circle.
It kind of is, you know what I mean? And it's a blessing, man, to be able to still do it at this level, man. And like I was talking about the bodies, kind of wearing down. I mean, shit, they ain't wore down too much that we can't keep doing, what we're doing right now. And it seems like, the older you get, the more, I don't know, man. Like we were talking earlier about the CZW Best of the Best when we wrestled each other and how I wasn't a fan of it, looking back because we know what the hell we were doing. But, man, I feel like right now we kind of know halfway a little bit what we're doing out there. And that is to go down there and create an atmosphere like no other tag team can. All right? When the Briscoes is down there, the shit going to get wild. You don't know what the hell going to happen. And that's how we want it to be.
Kind of has that old school flavor, Brody or Abdullah Butcher's, that old school flavor. It creates Hanson creates that atmosphere. Like, what the hell is going to happen next with these guys?
What the hell's going to happen? And that's all we can ask for.
Yes, sir. Come down there swinging that chain. You don't know if you're going to take somebody's head off or not. Brody, Bruiser Brody is Stan Hansen, Terry Funk, Dory Funk Jr. back, man, all the time. That's what, like, from there to the true blue ECW, late 90s, early mid-90s, like, that's what we about, man.
I love it. Unpredictable, crazy style, but so good in the ring. Great workers, too. I mean, you guys are basically, complete package. There's nothing you guys can't do.
I appreciate that, man, and that's, again, that's what we pride ourselves on, man, being able to get down with whoever want to get down.
Now, as we head towards the wind down, we head towards the finish line, I got to ask you guys, what do you think is the biggest misconception about the Briscoe brothers?
Probably that we're racist and homophobic. I mean, hey, look, I got more black friends than I do white friends, and believe it or not, I got friends that's gay, all right? Hey, believe it or not, man, I mean, I just, I believe in the Word of God. I believe in the Bible, all right? And that's, we can take that how it is. I mean, we be here all day discussing that, man. But I got friends that's gay. I got friends that's black, man. We both do. And that's, I mean, we can't get a bad rap for it. People want to judge us. But, man, they don't know us, man. They don't know what we do. They don't know how we live our lives. They don't know shit about us. And
it's all love, man. Like, people, man, and it would be funny if it if it wasn't so serious in this day and age. But the word bigot, like, that bigots there, hate them, don't follow them, don't watch them. Man, come on, man. Like, seriously, man. Like, you can't be into professional wrestling for 20 years and hate gay people and get anywhere. Like, that's not a thing. Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And people gonna think what they think and they want to judge us. I mean, but seriously, man, they don't know nothing about us, man. It's all love, man.
Now, you guys literally, I mean, I'm not going to name all the tag teams because it would probably take me all day, but, man, you guys wrestled every tag team Ring of Honor had, and they had so many good ones.
So many,
I mean,
bro.
Oh, my God, the list is I could literally go on forever and name all the awesome tag teams. But do you guys have some favorite matches looking back, if you could think of a couple?
I mean, obviously, man, I would say Steen and Generico was one hell of a feud. We did a few matches with them boys, man, and every match was just, I mean, there was something about it. Like, them boys wanted it, we wanted it. Like, it was just, it was magic, man. Like, I feel like back in 2007, I felt like we captured lightning in a bottle, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like,
good way to put it.
And,
shoot, I tell you what, down in Atlanta, Kenny King and Rhett Titus, man.
Yeah, man, it's hard to say, man, because I don't want to leave nobody out, to be honest with you, man. Like, we've had wars with the Young Bucks. I mean,
Kings of Wrestling.
Yeah, I don't really want to get the list of names, man, because I don't want to leave nobody out because we've wrestled a lot of damn good tag teams.
I can give you a couple if you don't mind. If you got 1 second, I can give you a couple. Second City Saints, The Prophecy, The Rottweilers, Aries and Strong, Daniels and Seidel, Kenta Marufuji, let's see, The American Wolves, No Remorse Course, Age of the Fall, Shingo and Dow, the Young Bucks, we said, the Motor City Machine Guns, SoCal Uncensored. I mean, there's Red Dragon, CNC. I mean, world's greatest tag team.
Good Lord.
A lot of
man,
a lot.
Yes, shit, yeah. And you just said so many names, and now, man, like, damn. Like, yes, every single one of them, man. God bless all them boys, man. Like, you know, we're just blessed to be able to do this, man, and get in the ring with the best tag teams. And, you know, they might go elsewhere, and we're still here, whatever it may be, man. But it is what it is. You know,
we're blessed to do what we love to do, man. We're blessed to do what we love to do.
Hey, it's all family, man. At the end of the day, we're a brotherhood, and everybody, you know, I mean, shit, you got to have somebody to dance with. You know what I mean? You can't go out there and do that shit by yourself. It got to be 2-on-2, man. You need a dance partner. You need an opponent, whatever the hell you want to call it. And we're just blessed to be able to do that for all these boys.
If you had a favorite opponent, would you guys pick each other? As far as like a singles match, would you pick each other?
I'd probably pick Jay Lethal.
Shoot, what in the singles match? It ain't gonna be you, that's for sure.
Because I'll whoop your ass.
Shit, you better get up out of here. Nah, Jay don't go quite hard enough for me. I don't know. I only wrestled PCO once in the singles. But I thoroughly enjoyed that. But yeah, man, you know, I don't know.
Now, where do you see the Briscoe brothers in 5 years? Still in Ring of Honor, still on the farm, still in Sandy Fork? Where do you guys see the Briscoe brothers in 5 years?
Man,
5 years? All my kids gonna be 5 years older, just like me.
Right. I'm gonna have 15-year-old. I'm gonna have a kid damn near driving. I'm gonna have a 15-year-old, 13-year-old, and a 11-year-old. So I mean, shit if I know, man. I mean, shit. We just gonna keep doing what we do and whatever happens.
Hey, still paying these bills, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna be paying these bills.
And one final thing you can't forget: Honor for All, 8/25, the Tennessee State Fairgrounds in Nashville, Tennessee. ROH World Tag Team Title match against the legendary, iconic Rock and Roll Express.
Woo. Yes, sir.
Now, give us some plugs. You know, do you want to promote maybe some of your social media? I know you guys aren't on there too much. Maybe some of your social media, Sinclair Broadcasting, Honor Clubs. Give us some plugs.
Well, shit, I mean, tune into the Sumbitch on Honor Club, and if you live in the Nashville area, come to the damn show, because I guarantee you that shit going to be hype. We going in there, I mean, shit, that's what we do. We go out there, we make this shit hype, and it's the Rock and Roll Express, so you know damn well it's going to be hype.
Hey, let's send off this historic arena like it deserved to be sent off.
Hey, if you can't make it, watch on Honor Club, but, hey, just know we're going to be getting down, baby.